Hello and welcome to another honing video. Today we're going to be using a method that JPO demonstrated on a video on his channel just recently. He did a one hone. He did a honing on one stone. It was a pretty fine grit stone. The principles that he used demonstrate a knowledge of simply using abrasion to remove material. And so I thought I would do the same thing, but of course I'll be talking a lot more. I'm going to use the same principles that he did. I'm going to be doing my one stone is an 8,000 grit Shapton glass. And I'll be honing a Union razor that I bought for $12 off of eBay. This razor is not in good shape. The edge is in need of a complete reshaping, what most people would call a complete bevel set. And the last place that you would typically expect to do a bevel set would be on a 8,000 grit stone. So the trick to this is to create a texture on the stone made of the very fine abrasive, but create a texture on the stone that where the texture acts as a coarser grit, and then to use slurry in the same way that we would use slurry on a caudicle. So let's get started. This stone has already been flattened. JPO used a diamond plate to raise his first slurry. I'm also using a diamond plate. I'm using one of these small DMT plates, and I'm definitely scrubbing up the surface here while creating a slurry, and I'm going to create a thick slurry, because we want to use both the slurry and the texture of the surface to hone the razor. And then what will happen as the razor goes back and forth is that the texture of the surface of the stone is going to smooth out, and the thickness of the slurry is going to be the more predominant force for abrading the edge. But hopefully by that time we've gotten past the early stages of bevel shaping. Okay, I don't think you'll be able to see how bad the edge is, so I'm not going to try, but this does not have an edge. As you can see, I'm pushing pretty hard there. So let's get going. I'm definitely using pressure. I'm leaning into this because pressure and abrasion are related. The more pressure you use, the more abrasion you get. As you can see, even on this 8K, I'm removing quite a bit of material. The slurry is very thick, so as I go through the slurry, I'm getting the benefit of the thickness of the abrasive in the slurry, as well as the texture that's in the stone. Now, I have no idea about this razor. I don't even know whether it'll take an edge. But because it's cheap, I'm assuming that the steel is pretty soft And based on the amount of slurry that I have here, I'm thinking that I'm right about the softness of the steel. What remains to be seen is, will it hold an edge? Let's use the whole stone, because we're definitely removing material here of both the stone and the razor. We want this part to go. This is the part that we need to get right. Everything else, finishing from here, shouldn't be too hard. Let's see how we're doing edgewise. I don't expect much at this point. Yep, and I don't have much. So let's continue. I'm going to draw the edge out a little bit. I'm also going to go back, raise a slurry again, a little water. And just keeping the conditions going here. Slurry, roughen up the surface. This motion draws out the edge. JPO did a lot of this. Instead of checking the edge condition with a packing peanut, he was checking the edge condition by visually inspecting it, using glint off of the edge to tell him what the condition of the edge is or was, and that's a terrific method. It's difficult to demonstrate on video, so I'm not doing it. Because I can't, I mean, I could show you something, but then I actually have to try to tell you what to look for, and that I think that would be difficult. So I'm using the same principles here that he did. Just a slightly different technique. Okay, let's see if we made any progress. The advantage of the packing peanut method is I can stop and see how I'm doing. Look at that. Look at that. We are definitely, so you see, I mean, it wouldn't break the packing peanut before. I need to do the knife sharpener thing, and now start paying more attention to the whole edge. But as you can see, I can without much force noise with noise, break the surface, break the skin of the packing peanut. So that's a success. We've made very good progress. I'm going to refresh this edge. Same thing, rough it up. And create a slurry. And now I'm going to start leaning into it a little less. Use a thick slurry, but I'm going to start paying attention more to the edge. More to the feel of the apex. Before I was just leaning into it, not really just waiting for material to grind away from the bevel and from both bevels, and to create an apex. The other thing that was happening there is that the edge, the original apex is ground away. So the razor is shorter, but only by a few microns. And the feel of the razor on the stone has changed. I'm starting to feel an apex on the in greater the delicate feel of the apex on the stone. It's not there yet. Now what we need to do, since we're only using one stone, I'm going to go for a thinner slurry, and I'm going to surface the stone with a finer, well, maybe I won't. I'll probably leave the surface of the stone alone. Because JPO didn't, he just washed it off and kept going. So I'm going to do that too. But I'm now feeling, and you can see from the way the slurry is moving over the razor that I've got some sort of an apex that's in contact with the surface of the stone. It may not be a very narrow apex yet, but it will be. All right, let's check progress. Again, JPO would have done this by simply evaluating glint, the reflections off the apex. That's definitely a knife sharpener thing. It's easy. Oh, look at this. Look at this. All right. The toe needs a little work. So I think I'll go back and do that. But we're ready to start treating this stone like an 8K. All right, I'm going to use the extra fine stone now. So this will raise a slurry, but it will create much less texture on the stone. So the surface of the stone will look a lot less like a coarse sandpaper made of abrasive. Now again, because this is a synthetic stone, you don't actually need to use slurry. I've mentioned before, I've been using slurry on synthetic stones for a very long time, well over 15 years. And I've also mentioned before that came from I really didn't think there was much purpose to using slurry on a synthetic stone, and until I had a long conversation with a man named Ken Schwartz, who died a few years ago. But Ken's 1 year older than I am. So you get two old men on the phone. These were long conversations. But we were talking about, what got me into this was we were talking about honing some of the super steels, but on aluminum oxide. And there's quite a bit of conversation about the problem with the carbides in the super steels not really being able to be cut by aluminum oxide. The carbides are actually harder than the aluminum oxide, so the carbide is more of an abrasive than the aluminum oxide is. And so he had always been a proponent of using slurry, and he suggested, well, just create a slurry, but put cubic boron nitride in there, and let that, which is harder than the carbides in the super steels, let that work for you. And I thought that was a really interesting idea, because my solution was my solution was to use diamond stones, and so what he was suggesting was, through the use of a slurry, turn a aluminum oxide stone into one that can cut like a diamond stone, and it works. So we had that conversation many years ago. I think it was 15, but it might have been more. I don't think it was less. So that sort of opened my eyes to the use of slurry. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we are at a beautiful 8K solution here. That's just shy of pushing into the cloud. I'm going to put a lot of water on this. and draw the edge out for the next step. This is kind of mimicking what JPO did. I'm going to draw the edge out. Then I'm going to strop it on balsa. And then I'm going to come back and do a final little bit of edge cleanup on this stone with ONR. Then I'll do the normal stropping that I do, which is 20 to 25 laps on fire hose linen and another 40 to 50 laps on leather. And then I'll do a microscope analysis of this edge. Now you can see that I'm doing something here. You can see that I'm loading up the stone. This is another benefit of slurry, by the way, is that the action of the slurry scrubs the stone and cleans up any loading that happens, loading from the steel as you go back and forth on the stone. And that's especially useful on the Nanawa Superstones. They have a binder that's pretty gummy, and it sort of loads up with steel pretty easily. Okay, let's go and do the next thing. This is a balsa strop that this is loaded with polycrystalline diamond powder in an emulsion at 0.75 micron. So that's somewhere between 16K and 20K. JPO used the green chromium oxide, which is about a half a micron in size. So this is a little larger. The particle size in this is a little larger, but you know, the concept is the same. Now I am normally I just pull when I strop. Here I'm letting the abrasive do some work to help really advance this edge. And what it's going to do is it's going to also add a convex shape towards the apex, and JPO thought that shape was a little excessive, and it may be. Okay, let me wash this off. Now we're going to go back to this stone. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Okay, let's get some ONR on here. Another thing that I have JPO to thank for. The ability to learn from others in this online age, that does not feel good. The ability to learn from others is really neat. Okay, and the whole purpose of this is just to take out a little bit of that convexity on the edge, and we're going to call that done. And the next thing we're going to do, test again just to show you, because I'm about to sign off here. So let's show you where we are. Absolutely pushing into the cloud with this edge. I just picked up a, oh, sorry. I'll show you the, it's just falling in. And it's even from heel to toe. So I'm going to go a strop and do the microscope image, and I'll probably do a voiceover on that microscope image. But for now, thank you for staying with me. This has been a very fun experiment, quite a different way to do a one stone hone. And thanks to JPO for piquing my interest. And I'll see you all later. Bye. So the first image here is the edge right coming off the 8K stone, and now we're going into the a little recording movie of the apex after stropping.